That's a smart man. Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know?
And now, a page from our Sunday morning almanac, April 3rd, 19...
Prepare to enter the mind of a ghost, a phantom who haunted America for 17 years. A man of stunning intellect who traded the promise of an academic throne for a shack in the woods, where he plotted a war against the modern world. We will unravel the enigma of Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber, a story that exposes the razor-thin line between genius and madness, and how the quest for a twisted ideal can erupt into a campaign of terror. Theodore John Kaczynski was born on May 22, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois, to working-class Polish-American parents. Even as a young child, his exceptional intelligence was evident, setting him on a path that was both brilliant and profoundly isolated. After skipping the 6th grade, an event he later described as pivotal and socially damaging, Kaczynski attended Evergreen Park Community High School. He excelled, graduating at age 15 as a National Merit Finalist, deeply immersed in mathematics and science with a group known as the Briefcase Boys. At just 16, Kaczynski entered Harvard University on a scholarship in 1958. Classmates and observers noted he was intellectually prepared but emotionally adrift, treated more as a walking brain than a person, deepening his sense of alienation.
He earned his PhD in mathematics from the University of Michigan in 1967 and swiftly became an assistant professor at the University of California, Berkeley. However, his disdain for the modern world and increasing reclusiveness led him to abruptly resign in 1969.
Rejecting academia and modern society, Kaczynski, with his brother David, purchased land near Lincoln, Montana in 1971. There, he built a primitive 10 by 14-foot cabin without electricity or running water, intending to live self-sufficiently. His rage against the industrial technological system festered. On May 25, 1978, the first of his carefully crafted homemade bombs was found at the University of Illinois, Chicago, injuring a police officer. The Unabomber's campaign had begun. Over the next 17 years, Kaczynski mailed or hand-delivered 16 bombs, targeting universities, airlines, and individuals connected to technology. The FBI formed the Unabomber, University and Airline Bombing Task Force, but the bomber left no forensic traces, crafting devices from untraceable scrap. Investigators correctly deduced he had ties to Chicago and Salt Lake City, and was likely a highly intelligent, scientifically minded lone male. Yet for years, his identity remained a ghostly mystery, punctuated by tragic attacks that killed 3 people and injured 23. In 1995, Kaczynski sent a 35,000-word essay, Industrial Society and Its Future, his manifesto, to the New York Times and the Washington Post. He demanded its publication, threatening to continue his violence. After intense debate, FBI Director Louis Freeh and Attorney General Janet Reno approved its publication in September 1995. The manifesto argued that the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. It condemned technology for stripping human autonomy and dignity, advocating for a revolution to collapse the modern industrial system. Upon reading the published manifesto, Kaczynski's younger brother, David, was horrified to recognize the distinctive prose style and ideas. After an internal struggle, he contacted the FBI with his suspicions, providing old family letters for comparison. FBI linguists determined the author of the letters and the manifesto were almost certainly the same. Combined with the known geographic profile, this provided the basis for a search warrant for the remote Montana cabin. On April 3, 1996, investigators arrested the disheveled 53-year-old Kaczynski at his cabin. Inside, they found a treasure trove of evidence: bomb components, 40,000 handwritten journal pages detailing his crimes and experiments, and one live bomb ready for mailing. Kaczynski, maintaining he was sane, fought to dismiss his court-appointed lawyers who wanted him to plead insanity to avoid the death penalty. He viewed an insanity defense as a humiliating attempt to discredit his ideological motives. To avoid a trial that would spotlight his manifesto, and to prevent an insanity defense, Kaczynski pleaded guilty to all charges in January 1998. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, to be held in the ADX Florence Supermax prison in Colorado.
In prison, Kaczynski continued to write. In 2021, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. He declined further treatment in March 2023. On June 10, 2023, at the age of 81, Theodore Kaczynski was found dead in his prison cell in Butner, North Carolina. The official cause of death was ruled suicide by hanging.
Kaczynski's legacy is a dual one, that of a ruthless, calculating terrorist who inflicted death and suffering, and that of an anti-technology extremist whose manifesto remains a dark, disturbing artifact for scholars and critics of modern society. The story of the Unabomber is a chilling chronicle of how a brilliant mind, warped by alienation and a pathological ideology, became fixated on destruction. It's a tale that forces us to confront the darkest potentials of human intelligence and conviction, and the enduring pain left in its wake. Thank you.